The leader of the underworld cabal from Minas Tirith has fled with his remaining henchmen. You have followed his trail to the Druadan Forest, hoping to bring the nameless villain to justice. Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Line Unbroken, my progression-style playthrough series of the Lord of the Rings living card game. I'm playing the Nightmare version of the second quest from the Against the Shadow cycle, the Druadan Forest. So, flip over this Nightmare card. Heroes do not collect resources during the resource phase. Setup. Add resources to each hero's resource pool until each hero has 5 resources. Search the encounter deck for 1 copy of Garden of Poisons and add it to the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck. Forced. After stage 2B is revealed, each hero with fewer than 3 resources gains resources until it has 3. So, as far as I'm aware, there's no way to actually stop my heroes gaining resources. I could lock them, that's an option, but that would also stop them readying in the refresh phase. So, I will have to just remove their resources every round. Garden of Poisons here. Heroes cannot gain resources from card effects. Travel, each player must pay 1 resource to travel here. The regular setup, search the encounter deck for Drewbury Drew and set him aside out of play. Shuffle the encounter deck. This is fine. The Druadan Forest is a wild and dangerous place. It is said that woses, reclusive forest dwellers, still reside among the trees. You wonder if your quarry has considered the dangers of this course. When revealed, reveal 1 card from the encounter deck per player and add it to the staging area. So, Devil's Merc. Immune to player card effects. While it's in the staging area, characters cannot be healed. And while it's the active location, each woes enemy gets +2 defense. Okay. And Druadan Stalker, Archery 3. As an additional cost to optionally engage Druadan Stalker, you must spend 2 resources. Okay. So now let's begin the game. Control N. Get our extra cards. Remove these extra resources. I should not have them. Now, this is a pretty great starting hand. Thrall's Map is very nice, so that I can definitely travel to Garden of Poisons without paying resources. And Villiers, of course. I am also going to immediately play Deep Knowledge. Draw more cards. Okay, 2 Daeron's Runes. And over here. Okay. Well, let's play these Daeron's Runes. Let's discard Radagast. And let's discard the spare copy of Villiers. Now that Elfstone could come in very handy. I'm going to trigger Grima, Doomed 1, to immediately put Thrall's Map. I want to immediately play Thrall's Map for 0 resources instead of 1. Let's also play Villiers. And let's see, what else? 4 for Haldir. 4 for Treebeard. And either 4 for the Eagles of the Misty Mountains or 5 for Radagast. Let's go 5 for Radagast. Now over here, let's pay 2 for the Imladris Stargazer. I'm going to exhaust Galadriel to lower my threat by 1 and draw a card. Okay, Greeting. Let's just target that on this deck. Light of Valinor onto Elrond. Oh, no, sorry. Put those 3 resources back. I use good meals to make that Galadrim's Greeting free. And let's pay 5 for Gandalf. To for Galadriel's Handmaiden. And then I suppose we leave it at that. There's not much value in having a second Imladris Stargazer. I will exhaust this Stargazer so that this deck can scry. Well, obviously I don't particularly want the extra Thrall's map anytime soon. Probably the Warden of Healing is the best in the short term. So let's just have it like this. And now we have to quest. There is 2, 5, 9 threat in the staging area. We can quest for 3, 5, 7, 11, 15, 17, and still hold back a decent amount for combat. And then after committing to the quest, I will use Vilya to bring in this Warden of Healing. So, 17 versus 9. Okay, Druadan Warrior, Prowl 2. And heroes with no resources can't attack or defend. Okay. Right, yes, Prowl 2. And another Devil's Merc. Alright. So that has added 5 threat to the staging area. I make 3 progress. That's fine, I don't want to go too fast. I would like to be able to heal my characters, so I should probably try to get rid of these Devil's Mercs as quickly as I can. But I can't kill this guy anyway. This guy, if he doesn't have +2 defense, I could kill him anyway. I spent the 2 resources here to engage him. So, okay, let's go to a Devil's Merc. This deck will pay 2 resources to optionally engage the Stalker, and the Warrior will just have to come here. This is not ideal, but hopefully we'll manage. Archery 3. Well, let's we put 2 on Elrond. No, let's put 1 on Elrond and 2 on Radagast. Okay, so each hero with no resources in its resource pool cannot be declared as an attacker or defender against Druadan Warrior. This unfortunately means I must take this attack undefended. +2 attack, so that's 7. Of course it is Bjorn. And now Bjorn is defending this, which is very risky. Remove X tokens, progress tokens from the current quest. Okay, so there goes all my progress. That's fine. But Bjorn is already tapped out. I was not expecting that to happen quite so soon. But I can attack for 4, 5, 7 to kill this guy even with +2 defense. Control N. This deck gets an extra 2 threat for Gandalf. My heroes do not gain resources, but Treebeard and Radagast do. Okay. So, right, let's see. I can't do anything with these Ancient Madams. I'm going to use Galadriel on this deck. Bilbo. I can't afford Bilbo. Oh well. Okay, so let's do a Doomed one and play this Vassal of the Windlord for 0 resources. And see what I can Villier. Not seeing a lot of great options for Villier. But I suppose we'll go with this. There is now 5 threat in the staging area. And we can quest for 4, 8, 10, 13. I think 13 is enough. Hold back everything I can for combat. Not that my heroes can actually do anything to this warrior at the moment. Okay. Stalker and Drums of the Wild Men. Each player must trigger the Prowl keyword on each enemy engaged with him as if that enemy had just been revealed from the encounter deck. Then return each engaged war's enemy to the staging area. If no enemies are returned to the staging area by this effect, Drums of the Wild Men gains Surge. Okay, but I still trigger the Prowl keyword as it normally would be, so it applies to all players. Does Prowl... So Prowl, of course, requires you to discard resources. However, does that apply only to heroes, or do I have to pay Prowl resources from Treebeard and or Radagast? Of course, it's a handy point that they, since they are allies, not heroes, get around the stipulation on the Nightmare card and still gain resources. But I don't know if they are immune to Prowl. Hang on a minute. Okay, so I checked what it says in the rules. It says that players must discard resources from their heroes' resource pools. So nothing about... It doesn't just say they must discard resources, it does specify heroes' resource pools, so Treebeard and Radagast are safe. And this does return the Druadan warrior to the staging area, so it does not gain Surge. I have added 6 threat to the staging area. 11. Okay, I am currently making 2 progress. Going to exhaust Fatty Bulger and raise this deck's threat by 2 to cancel the threat of the Druadan warrior. So I make 4 progress. Now, of course, I do want to Villiers this Trollshell Scout into play. Now, do I want to go to the other Devil's Merc or go to the Garden of Poisons? This is stopping me healing, but if I travel to it, then each world's enemy will get +2 defense. What are my chances of killing the Druadan Warrior now? I need 8 attack purely from my allies, which is definitely possible. So I should go to the Garden of Poisons, which I can do because I can use Thrall's Map to go there without satisfying the travel cost. I cannot engage this Druadan Stalker, of course. Oh yeah, that was a thing. I was not supposed to lower the threat of this deck. That was part of the plan. Let it get to 43 threat, so then Stalkers will engage it. Of course, at the moment I don't want to engage this Stalker, but I wouldn't have been up to 43 threat yet, so that's sort of immaterial. Oh well, this deck will optionally engage the Druadan Warrior. I have Archery 3 to assign, so let's put 1 point on the Trollshell Scout, and I suppose 1 more on Elrond, and 1 on Fatty Bolger. I will defend with Treebeard. Okay, 5 attack, 3 defense. He takes 2 damage. I can now attack for 2, 3, 5, 8. Which is exactly enough to kill the Druadan Warrior. I then have to discard my Vassal of the Windlord and discard a card to keep the Trollshell Scout in play. I will discard this Booming Ent. So now Control N, remove resources, add resources, remove resources, 2 extra points of threat for Gandalf, draw a card here. It's a Test of Will that I can't play. Sure, whatever. Use the Stargazer for this deck. Okay, so I'm going to set it up like this. Use Galadriel on this deck. Let's draw a card. I'm not going to play this copy of The Eagles Are Coming yet. Now I'm going to trigger a Doomed 1 so that I can play this Elfstone for free. Because of course the Garden of Poisons is not immune to player card effects. And then let's also pay 2 from Treebeard to get this Booming Ent into play. Over here, there's nothing that I want to play, so we will leave it at that. There's 7 threat in the staging area. We can quest for 3, 5, 7, 11, 15, 17. And we reveal Men in the Dark. Each hero must pay 1 resource. Oh, Bjorn. I forgot about Bjorn in relation to this. Well, let's see. So each hero must pay 1 resource or take 1 damage. So Bjorn is dead. Doesn't gain Surge, because heroes did take damage. And then a Glade of Cleansing. X is equal to the total archery value of the highest archery woes enemy in play, which is this guy, 3 plus 1, 4. So I've added 4 threat to the staging area. I make 6 progress. This Eagles of the Misty Mountains comes into play. Going to Villiers, this Trollshell Scout, and now play the Eagles are coming. And there we go, turns out there are 3 Eagles there. That's fantastic. And then I shuffle the deck. Unfortunately, yeah, it would have been... I do, of course, have Landreval in this deck to bring back Bjorn when he dies, but the timing didn't quite work out. So now I definitely want to be able to heal. So I travel to this other Devil's Merc. I cannot engage the Druadan Stalker. I have Archery 4 to assign. So let's go 1, 2. 3, 4. I'll just put attack tokens on the booming end for its boost. And now, since I could reveal Men in the Dark again, I better heal Elrond and Eowyn. So, Control N, resources, and extra threat, and a card. Okay, let's just put my resource generating allies over here. Kind of, they're between them. They are my replacement hero. Let's use this Stargazer. Okay, there's Landreval. A bit late. I'm gonna take Gildor instead. And then that'll be fine. This deck will Galadriel. I will put Emery into play using her ability. Of course, she stays in play. Now, okay, I could do with a bit more willpower, so let's say Doomed 1 and 1 resource from Treebeard for this Wandering Ent. And then 2 from Radagast for the Winged Guardian. Okay, now there's 8 threat in the staging area. Request 4, 8, 9, 11, 13, 16, 18, 20. Let's go for 20. Garden of Poisons and Eilenach. Players cannot travel to Eilenach unless there is at least 1 resource in each hero's resource pool. Okay, that's 7 threat added to the staging area. I make 5 progress. Not going as quickly as I might have hoped. Okay, so let's use Thrall's Map. I'm not traveling to it, so this is totally fine. I have Archery 4 to assign, once again. Let's see. Let's heal up these 2 first, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, no. 4. And of course, Villiers Gildor into play. And Control N. This deck gets the extra 2 points of threat. Resources, resources, resources. And let's set up the next Villia, which will of course be Landraval. Oh no, wait. Set that up. Daron's Runes. Discard that Villia. And now I'm ready for my next Villia. Pay 2 for this guy. I might want to hold off on Grima at this point. I'm not sure. Obviously, I do have means of managing my threat. Among them, just discarding Gandalf rather than keeping him around. I suppose it's an interesting point about this quest that because your heroes aren't generating resources, losing a hero is less impactful than it might usually be. All Bjorn really did for me was give me 5 resources at the start of the game and then soak up 9 damage. But that was still useful. If things had gone otherwise, his 5 attack would also have been pretty useful, but regardless. Okay, so Galadriel on this deck. There's another Gandalf. So if I get an Elf Stone, then I could potentially get rid of Gandalf and just bring in another one. It's a possibility. That would save me 2 points of threat, and then of course I wouldn't have his willpower in the intervening round. Anyway, okay, this obviously is fine. I am going to doom in this Vassal of the Windlord on reflection. So, questing 2, 5, 7, 10, 12, 14, 18, 22, 24 against 10. Actually, maybe I don't want to go quite that much. $20 against 10. Yes, okay. Ancestral Clearing. The cost of player card is increased by 1. And okay, so 2 threat here and 2 threat here. So effectively 4, 8. Okay, I should have quested harder. So difficult to predict things like this. Of course, I use Villia for Landraval. So if I lose any more heroes, I'm set. And then let's play. Oh no, wait, sorry. That card costs 1 right now. So I'll just forget what I saw there because I couldn't play that. Right, yes. I use Fatty Bolger targeting the Druadan Drummer, who of course does affect herself, so that's 2 threat. So I make 4 progress and explore Eilenach. I really need to get rid of this ancestral clearing. So let's go there. Of course, this deck is now 43 threat. So, okay, let's optional the drummer here, and of course we have the stalker here. They're each getting +1 archery. So we have archery for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, well, oh, this deck is first player. Let's just defend with the Wandering Ent. Each Warden gets +1 attack, that makes no difference. And Winged Guardian will Sentinel the Stalker, that's fine. That. So this is now an attachment to these Eagles of the Misty Mountains. I can easily kill the drummer, and I can also kill the stalker. And I can heal. Let's see. Okay, actually, if I thought this through, I would have put extra damage on these two just because it makes it more efficient with the boost from Elrond to heal them. Okay. Control N. Extra threat. This is getting a little concerning. But the staging area is pretty clear at this point. In fact, there's only 2 threat there. So now could be the point where, in fact, take away those 2 points of threat. I'm just discarding Gandalf. So, Stargazer. More healing. Sounds great. And that'll be it. Okay, so yeah, 2 threat in the staging area. Certainly could increase, but not by, probably not by too much. So let's see, we quest for 3. Okay, actually, let's just throw some allies at this. Mostly 2, 4, 7, 9, 11. I'm just going to leave it at that. Each questing hero must pay 1 resource, or it is removed from the quest. That is why I just did all the questing with allies. Oh, also I'm going to Villiers before staging. So I'm still questing for 11. Surge, Prowl 1. I have no resources on my heroes, so the Prowl does nothing but Surge. Okay, so I've added 4 threat. I make 5 progress. This is all cool. Oh, no, I've added a bit more threat. Well, 1 more threat, because this is giving archery 1 to everything. Right. Now, to the Garden of Poisons. That's very important. And, okay, this deck is first player. So I better option all this here, and this will turn up here, which is fine. And, okay, let's just defend with Emery. got an attachment from the defending character. Emery does not have any attachments. And now here, I will just defend with Treebeard. Okay, he takes 2 damage. Oh, there was Archery 2, which I should have assigned, and I would have done it like this. So I can then immediately heal it up very efficiently. And this will be my other bit of healing. So now Haldir is 2 ranged attack, and that makes 3 to kill the thief. Here I need 8. That's not a problem. 3, 7. Do I want to... I don't really want to expend a vassal on this, so I think I'll use the Troshol Scout, and I will just discard the Eagles Are Coming to keep him in play after the attack. So, Control N. And yeah, I still have another greeting somewhere in these 27 cards. I could Stargaze for this deck to go looking for it. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Oh yeah, Elrond's Council also. So yeah, let's go for this. And this is going out of order. Well, it doesn't matter that much. I'm going to use Gildor for his ability. Take the top 3 cards. And let's swap Deep Knowledge into my hand, why not? And put the Warden of Healing on top of the deck. And over here I will play the Hobbit Pipe onto... Actually, no, wait. Since I do have Bilbo in my hand, I don't need to lower my threat immediately. I can save it until I've advanced and gotten some extra resources. So, okay, there is 0 threat in the staging area right now. I would very much like to advance the quest. So let's quest 2, 5, 7, 9, 13, 15, 15 against 0. Should be fine. Actually, I still need 8 more progress. I could send a bit more. We'll go for that. 17. Actually, I could... whatever. Okay, so Surge. And... okay. That's 7 threat. Now, I wish I could reduce my willpower, because of a very significant point here. The Garden of Poisons. Heroes cannot gain resources from card effects. This also went up by 1, so 8 threat. I'm still making 9 progress, which still advances the quest. which I now do not want because I revealed a Garden of Poisons. It's very important to get rid of the Garden of Poisons before you advance the quest. I'm just putting it out there. I personally think this should not be the way it is, but it is this way. Heroes cannot gain resources from card effects. This, forced after stage 2B is revealed, each hero with fewer than 3 resources gains resources until it has 3. This is a card effect. The Nightmare card is a card. I checked with Caleb, this is how it works. So if you reveal a Garden of Poisons on the same round that you advance to stage 2, you don't have any option in the matter. You just don't get the extra resources you're supposed to get. Oh, I should have used Velia. I can probably still win from this. And it means that I really didn't lose anything by having Bjorn die. But I still think this shouldn't be the case, because the Nightmare card, especially in a case like this, it's completely rebalancing the way the whole quest works. And that should be something that's consistent. It's one of the things that I, as you know, if you read the blog, watch my videos, I'm very keen that the experiences of playing quests should be consistent. It shouldn't be possible for one reveal at the wrong time to lead to such a wildly divergent experience of playing the quest. But that is what happens with this. And the thing is, this could just easily just be heroes cannot gain resources from player card effects. There are no encounter card effects in the base quest that give resources to heroes. Only this card, the Nightmare card, this is the only encounter card effect that does anything like that. So at the time this was printed, it made no difference if it was card effects or player card effects. It's only with the Nightmare thing that it actually became relevant. Anyway, long rant over, I advance the quest and do not get my resources. As you move deeper into the forest, the wilderness quickly swallows all trace of civilization. Pushing through a dense patch of undergrowth, you come upon a dark and tangled grove. The scent of death strikes you. In the grove, the fleeing traitors lie slain, pierced by poisoned arrows. As you search the pain-racked corpses for the body of their leader, the ominous echo of drums begins to sound among the trees. You desperately begin to retrace your steps from the woods, lest the fate of the traitors becomes your own. Archery damage must be assigned to allies if able. That's not a problem. I will travel to the Devil's Merc so that I can actually heal. Engage the Druadan Thief. It has Archery 1 from the Glade of Cleansing, which I will put onto Gildor. Then let's... Yeah, let's just heal, not heal, defend with Haldir. That's fine. Let's do all my healing. So, okay, I'm not going to trigger Elrond's response when healing Treebeard or the Booming Ent, because that keeps the Booming Ent's attack up. But otherwise, board is almost clear of damage. I can attack for plenty, take down the thief, and okay, Control N. And okay, at this point, sure, I will play the Hobbit Pipe. I'm not getting my extra resources from stage 2, so I can't play Bilbo like I wanted to get an extra pipe. Or Arwen, who also would have been really nice to have. I'll also put these boots from Erebor onto Fatty. Free extra hit point. Certainly nice to have. Use the Stargazer for this deck. Go for an Ent. I could use Grima to get the Elf Stone in, except the active location is immune to player card effects. So that's not going to be a thing. I could use Treebeard's resources to play this Booming Ent, but I'm not going to. Let's use Galadriel to... Oh, no, wait. I just stargazed. This was a whole thing. So yeah, I'm going to have Galadriel target this deck. Just on the off chance I want to use my Trollshell Scouts, so I have more options to discard, though that's almost certainly not going to happen. Anyway, whatever. I've done it now. Quest phase. I will, of course, play Elrond's Council. Drop my threat by 3. And exhaust the Hobbit Pipe to draw a card. And of course that gets me 1 extra point of willpower. There is currently 2 threat in the staging area. Quest for 2, 5, 7, 11, 13, 14, factoring in the Elrond's Council, 16, This is probably going to take an extra round regardless, so let's just go for 16 and Dumavilia. Oh, actually, I'll pay 1 from Radagast to get the Vassal of the Windlord. Right, so 16 against 2. Surge. Surge. Attached to the enemy in play with the highest engagement cost. Weapon attachment with the text attached to enemy gets +2 attack and gains archery 2. Okay. Okay, that was all card 1. And Stonewain Valley. Resources discarded or spent by the first player for any reason are placed on Stonewain Valley. And it gets +1 threat for each resource on it. So, okay, that's 1 threat. This guy is 2 threat. This guy is 2 threat. So that's 5 threat, but also the Glade of Cleansing now has a threat of 6. Because there are 5 heroes in play with no resources in their resource pool, +1 from the Glade, means 6 is the highest archery value. So I have just added 11 threat to the staging area. I still clear the active location. I could discard to boost Eowyn. No particularly compelling reason not to do that. These cards aren't doing me any good otherwise. Over here, maybe not. Maybe I do want to hold on just because of Trollshell Scouts. Okay. Okay, so at this point I should definitely get rid of the Glade of Cleansing. Because it is going to keep being a problem. And okay, one of these enemies is going to end up engaged with this deck, which is not ideal. This one is easier to kill, so it should be this one. So we have archery 6, 8, 9. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I can then immediately heal up a load of that. I should also deal shadow cards. Okay. Well, we have a sentinel here. +1 attack for each hero the defender. Okay, that doesn't matter because this guy was going to become an attachment to the Eagles of the Misty Mountains one way or another anyway. Over here, 4 attack. I mean, I have a few options. Yeah, actually, yeah, let's just defend with the Eagles of the Misty Mountains. They are 4 defense now. Plus X attack. X is that enemy's prowl value. For a moment I thought that's at archery value, which would have been a lot worse. Prowl 1. So, sure, that's 1 damage. Which I will then heal. And I'll also do Treebeard, but not activate Elrond's response for that. So, attacking back 1, 2, 3. And 3, 5, 9. It's plenty. Control N. Okay. Galadriel. And over here, there's Gwai here. Been looking for him. Nothing else there is particularly important either way. Oh, I need to sort out these resources as usual. I'm going to play my last Winged Guardian. And okay, so now there is 3 threat in the staging area. It shouldn't be able to snowball quite as much because the Glade of Cleansing is not in the staging area. So let's quest 2, 4, 7, 9. 13. 15. Yeah, I still need to make quite a bit of progress. 17. 19. Glade of Cleansing and Stars in Sky, which loses me all of my hero willpower, which is 3, 5, 9. But the Glade of Cleansing is 0 threat. I also Villiers, of course, after committing to the quest, but before staging. And that allows me to pull this Vassal of the Windlord out of my discard pile. Okay, so I make 7 progress. 6, 7. And travel to the new Glade of Cleansing. There's no combat. I can heal that 1 point of damage on Emery. At the end of the round, this Vassal of the Windlord would return to my hand, but in fact it will go under the Eagles of the Misty Mountains. And yeah, okay. Control N. Well, all these cards that I can't do anything with. Oh yeah, Strength of Will. Totally, I've been forgetting about that repeatedly. So I'm just going to say I should have used it last round, Exhausting Fatty, to put 2 progress on the Glade of Cleansing. Now I will no longer be forgetting about it. Stargaze. And okay. Once again, 3 threat in the staging area. Questing for 2, 5, 7, 11, 13, 15. Yeah, okay, actually I am going to Doomed 1 to put this Elf Stone up here. Lost count of my willpower. 2, 4, 7, 9, 11, 15, 17. That's 20. That 22. I'll try 22. See if I can advance the quest. There are no enemies engaged with me, so this does nothing against Surge. And there's the... oh, yeah. As usual, trigger Villia after committing to the quest before staging. So this guy is in play. And this treachery is the reason why I should be doing that. And I've been meaning to do that the whole time, just... I forget in the midst of calculating my willpower. So, yes, each player must pay 1 resource for each attachment he controls, or discard all attachments he controls. So there go all my attachments. Including, of course, these extra eagles. But never mind. I suppose technically I could actually have paid resources from these to hold on to my attachments, but I'm not going to. It would have been kind of expensive with the eagles. But that also surges. Okay. So, so this is 2 and plus 2 to this, so 6 threat added. I'm making 13 progress. Can I get 4 more? Well, I could use Fatty Bulger. I would rather not use Fatty Bulger if possible. Of course I can discard to AON. That would only get me 2. So it may be that I really have to just go for the Fatty Bulger option. I'm going to give it a try. 2 threat for the drummer. And I will discard this Deep Knowledge. And any of these, I can't play them to get 2 extra points of willpower, so I make 17 progress. And I advance the... oh, no, wait, there's an extra quest point on this. In that case, maybe I just wait the extra round. So I take back using Fatty. Man. But yeah, actually, do I really want Gandalf? I could just bring in Arwen. Arwen would be pretty useful. I mean, yeah, Gandalf is also pretty useful. It's just a question of the threat. Um, 45, 48. Be good for a couple of rounds, and I still have a couple more Elrond's councils, so it could work out, but it's pretty risky. I'm just going to take Arwen. Right, okay, I no longer have Thrall's map, so I can't go to the Garden of Poisons. So let's instead go to the Stonewain Valley. Should the Stonewain Valley have gotten some resources on it? Did I spend resources? I may have spent resources from Radagast. I think it was only one though. So that should have a resource and I should have less progress again. Okay. So we'll engage these like this. Archery 2, just 2. Which I can put on here. Shadow cards. Let's just defend with Haldir, I think. No, let's defend with Emery. Plus 2 attack. Which brings her up to 3. Still only 1 damage. And over here, Eagles of the Misty Mountains can defend. It's fine, 1 damage. And we attack for 1, 2, 3. I really need to get rid of this drummer. So we'll do it that way. And start repowering the Misty Mountains. And here we need 6 attack, that's easy. And now I can heal everything that matters. And actually at this point I am going to fully heal my Ents even. Okay, Control N. Okay, since I decided not to bring in Gandalf, I can be more flexible with who I use Galadriel on. So yeah, actually I could have had a bit more Gandalf time if I'd factored in Galadriel, but never mind, it's still reasonable. Okay, Thrall's map. Remember about my resources. We're going to Galadriel here. And use a Doomed 1 to get that map back into play, and I don't have these resources. It's easy to forget because, I mean, at this point, I know that my heroes can't pay for anything, so I don't actually need to keep removing the resources. I just know that they don't really have them. Also pay 2 for this Wandering Ent. And now, there is 2 threat in the staging area. I need 10 progress. So let's quest 2, 4. 6, 8, 12, 14, 16. Arwen targets the Eagles of the Misty Mountains with an attachment. That was 16 willpower. Yeah, I could do with a bit more. 18, 20. I can still discard to boost Eowyn. I can just take another round longer on it. Let's just see. 2 threat and 4 threat. So 6 threat, I make 12 progress. And I advance the quest. You sense that the edge of the forest must be near at hand, but Woz is a master huntsman, and a band of them block your path. Your situation seems hopeless. There are simply too many of them. As they begin their attack, you realize your only hope for survival is to convince the Pukul men that you are not their enemy. Add Drewbury to the staging area. We have a new Nightmare version of Drewbury Drew. 4543. Drewbury Drew cannot take more than 1 damage each round. While Drewbury Drew is in play, other Woz enemies get +1 attack and +1 defense. Unless Drewbury Drew is in the victory display, the players cannot win. And of course, Siege. Characters use their willpower instead of attack when attacking enemies. If an enemy would be damaged this way, place progress tokens on it instead of damage tokens. When an enemy has progress equal to its hit points, add it to the victory display and place those progress tokens on the quest. If the players defeat the stage, they have won the game. Now, I find this kind of weird. Drewbury Drew cannot take more than 1 damage each round. We don't do damage to enemies at this stage, which is the only point where he's in play. I suppose it could be a means of preventing you just using direct damage effects to kill him and thus remove his effects from play, which of course includes the text saying you can't win unless he's in the victory display. Except, I mean, really, they should just put the "unless he's in the victory display, the players cannot win" text on the Nightmare card, which you cannot remove from play. I've always assumed, and I suppose maybe I should have asked Caleb about this to be sure, but I've always assumed this means that you're not supposed to be able to place more than 1 progress token on him each round. So you have to take 3 rounds to get him into the victory display. I don't actually know that for certain. I'm going to assume that that is the way it's supposed to work. Now, let's Thrall's map the Garden of Poisons. And, okay, yes, this deck is first player, so I will have both of the enemies down here. We have Archery 2, and we've run out the encounter deck, so Drewbury Drew does not get a shadow card. That's fantastic. We'll put the 2 points of Archery onto Landreval, why not? And of course, other Woz enemies get +1 attack and +1 defense. My first attempt recording this, I forgot about that effect, and thus thoroughly invalidated that attempt. So this is 4 attack. I'm just going to chump with this Vassal of the Windlord. The defending character has no resources to deal. Oh. Well, okay. So that means that the vassal is destroyed, and this attack is now undefended, so I will kill Grima and return Landrival to my hand to put Grima back into play with 1 damage on him. Okay, not quite how I intended to do that, but never mind. Okay, I need 6 willpower to get the Druid. No, 7 willpower plus 1 defense. I need 7 willpower to get the Druadan Elite into the victory display. Which I easily have. Here we have 5 attack. Sure, let's just defend with the Eagles of the Misty Mountains. They take 1 damage. So now, I also need 5 willpower to get... Oh no, sorry, the Eagles are up to 5 defense because they were targeted by Arwen. So yes, I need 5 willpower to get 1 progress on Drewberry Drew. So let's do that. And then 3, 5, 7 adds the Druadan Elite to the victory display. And gets me 4 quest progress. Which does go to the active location first. And then I can heal that 1 damage on Grima. And Control N. Okay. Well, let's use the Eagles are coming. Grab that 1 eagle. Stargaze here. Sure, I'll take the strength of will. That's what it's called. Because it does speed me up a little bit. And I guess I will just pay 4 from Radagast for these Eagles of the Misty Mountains. So, we are siege questing now. There's 4 threat in the staging area. Quest for 3, 4, 5, 7, 11, 13, 15, 16, still targeting this guy. Seems fine, 16 against 4. And we reveal Glade of Cleansing. And Stars in Sky. The only hero I'm questing with is Fatty Bolger. So that loses me 2. Glade of Cleansing. Drewberry Drew has no innate archery, so he's just a 1, so this is just a 1. I make 9 progress. Let's travel to the Glade of Cleansing before I have any more problems. Trigger Strength of Will. Get those 2 progress. 1 archery, which I'll just put on Arwen. Defend here. And attack for 5 willpower, place 1 progress. Heal the 1 damage. Control N. And okay, let's Stargaze this deck this time. Sure, I'll take the Elfstone. Not sure I can really do much useful with it. I mean, obviously, I could play it using Grima, but I don't particularly want to bring in any of these allies for free. I have no use for them. So, that being the case, I think we just go straight back to questing. So, 3, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 16. Druadan Drummer and Druadan Stalker, which is getting +2 from the drummer. So 6, 8. Total of 12 threat in the staging area. I make 4 progress. I will travel to the Overgrown Trail. Yes, of course. Ally Haldir is not a ranger, so he doesn't help me against the trail here. Trottle Scouts are scouts, but not rangers. Anyway, okay. Druadan Stalker, Druadan Drummer. This deck is first player, I can just get everything here. We have Archery 3. So let's just do 3. And okay. We have a 2 attack, a 4 attack, and a 5 attack. Well, let's just do the 5 attack first, as we have been. 2 attack is fine. 4 attack. I can just use Elrond. I think. I mean, maybe just to be safe, it might be better to ready Treebeard. There's no particular reason not to. I pay 2 resources from Treebeard to ready him, and he will defend this. Return attacking enemy to the staging area after it attacks, unless any player pays 1 resource. Sure, I have resources. And that was 4 attack. So I can heal everything. And now 5 willpower adds Drewberry Drew to the victory display. He has 3 hit points, so that's 3 progress. I suppose if I hadn't travelled, I would have just won the quest. Didn't think that through. But, okay, 4 willpower, because Drewberry Drew is no longer boosting. 4 willpower gets the drummer for another 2. And yeah, okay, I've extended this quest by a round needlessly. 5, 1, 2, 3. 1 progress short of completing the quest. But never mind. Control N. Going to Stargaze for this deck. There we go, Elrond's Council. And now we have an empty staging area. I will quest for, after sorting out my resources properly, I will quest for 3, 4, 7, 9, 11, 14, 15, 19, 23, 27, 33, 35, 36, 37, 38, 40, 41, 43, 44, 45, factoring in her ability. Questing for 45 against 0. Each hero must pay 1 resource or take 1 damage. And that does nothing against Surge because there are no enemies in play. Garden of Poisons. Okay, 2 threat. I exhaust all my Wardens of Healing to heal up my heroes. And I make 43 progress. And I win the quest. So, there you go, that's Nightmare Druadan Forest. It is a rather interesting twist on the quest. And on the game in general, starting with lots of resources, but then not getting any new ones, except when you advance to stage 2 of the quest, whereas normally you start out with nothing and take time to build up. Here you start out with a lot, but can't get any more. Of course, you can kind of circumvent that with Treebeard and Radagast and Vilya and Grima to some extent, especially Grima into Elfstone. So I used some tricks like that, though to a large extent it was just a matter of getting power into play early on, and then that was enough to carry me through, although it didn't carry me through particularly quickly in this particular instance. When I was testing these decks, it turned out differently. Because when I was testing the decks, I actually got the extra resources on stage 2, which would have helped a lot. I could have had a lot more willpower, and I would have advanced to stage 3 a lot quicker. Also, in some cases, when I was testing, I drew more willpower in my opening hand for the second deck, so I advanced to stage 2 quicker as well. But regardless, it's a very interesting twist on the quest. I enjoy it quite a bit, and this did work out despite some slight mishaps. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. If you enjoyed this, please consider supporting me on Patreon, and goodbye.